Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
The normalization of baby mama and baby daddy culture. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
What's a scam that's become so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam anymore?
The normalization of baby mama and baby daddy culture. If you're here for my Roe vs. Wade video, you heard me say that I feel like my generation has been the most careless about getting pregnant. So before I get into that, if you are a single parent watching this video, I am in no way trying to bash you or judge you for your situation, or even blaming you for it. I'm simply pointing things out. So let's talk about it. A lot of us did not grow up with two-parent households. A lot of us did not grow up in healthy households. A lot of us did not grow up having a lot of money. So with that being said, I do not understand why my generation is so careless about pregnancies. I'm gonna try to make sense of this and blame it on social media because parenting is literally a trend right now. A lot of babies being born right now are either content babies or Tinder babies. Whatever the case may be, a lot of us know exactly what happens when two people don't put that much thought into bringing a child into the world. Look at your parents. We are literally living in the mental health era where people talk about their childhood trauma. Whether your parents did not want you, hated each other, or only got together because they got pregnant with you, you have seen firsthand what happens. Look at what that did to you. 9 times out of 10, the effects were negative. So what I'm not understanding is how you have firsthand experience of that, and yet you don't break the cycle. I have a question for the ladies. If he already cheats, lies, abuses, and just does you dirty in general, why do you feel comfortable having his child, let alone having unprotected sex? When he told you that he wanted you to be the mother of his child, he was horny, not serious. This is my advice to you. Don't deal with a man that you would tell your daughter to run away from. To the men, this is my question for you. A lot of you grew up without a father. Talk about how much that hurts you. So much so that you use that as an excuse to treat women like shit for the rest of your life. Why is it that after seeing your mother go through hell, you decide to put somebody else's daughter through that and do the exact same thing to that child that your father did to you? What are you doing? Why are you even having raw sex with people that you have no interest in? Raw sex is for potential parents. A lot of you don't even know yourselves yet. A lot of you don't even have your own place. Half of you haven't even seen the world yet, and none of you can afford these kids. Back to the social media stuff. I know that y'all stand these rapper baby mamas, but there's a very big difference. If Jay-Z left Beyonce when she was pregnant with Blue, she would have been fine. Why? Because she's a billionaire. You work at Chick-fil-A and he is unemployed. What the f are you doing? This ain't that. Babies do not fix relationships. If it was shit from the beginning, it's gonna continue being shit. And that child is gonna be the collateral damage. I know how people talk about how outdated marriage and all that stuff is, but if we're being for real, that's what most girls want. It's just that a lot of women are convincing themselves that they don't like the things that they need just to keep a man. So ladies, if he can't even buy you a ring, let alone call you his girlfriend, in other words, commit to you, then what the makes you think he's about to commit 18 years to a kid he didn't even want? You should want better for your kid, not the same thing you went through. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Follow and like for more. Shout out to the single parents.
All right, listen, I have to give it to this woman in this video. That was some good coffee. That was a lot of truth. And when you speak a lot of truth and facts, right, I agree with most of what she had to say there, then you have to risk offending some people. But who knows, maybe people weren't offended. As always, we're gonna check out some of these comments and see what the people had to say about this. Our first comment here comes from a woman who says, content babies is such a real thing. 115K plus likes. And we've all seen it, right? We've seen the women and sometimes the men who aren't usually single fathers, but usually in relationships, who use their children for content, for the sake of advancing their platform, right? You see a lot of single mothers do this, where they'll dress up their kids, take pictures of them. They're more interested in probably using that child as an accessory, or just, you know, there's the culture of it's cute to get pregnant. It's cute to post yourself with your belly popping out. We know all that shit is very, very real in our culture, in today's society. So we've got another comment here by a woman that says, I think it's because we got a lot of trauma that we don't know what to do with. And 10 years ago, we were all teens seeking love in the wrong places. And so she responded to her own comment and said, now the baby's coming. Also lack of education. We don't realize a lot until it's already too damn late. And so let's just dissect this comment. She says a lot of trauma, right? Women experience a lot of trauma, and men as well, but women are the carriers of children, and they hold access in most cases to sex. And I agree, the trauma thing is real. So maybe the solution should be, how should I avoid trauma in my life, especially when I'm young? Well, maybe as a woman, I shouldn't embrace that 304 lifestyle, right? That hot girl summer life, which seems like a rite of passage for every woman has to go through that today. Maybe I should avoid that. Maybe I should avoid going after toxic men and actually try to find a responsible man who I can respect. But the problem with that is, as a woman, you also have to be respectable, right? And when it comes to women maintaining respect from the men who they encounter, that seems to be the last thing in a lot of women's minds today. It's you do whatever you want as a woman and go ahead and live that 304 lifestyle, etc. Right? Next comment here from a woman reads, hence why I'm 29 and still not a parent. Once I see he won't be a good dad or a reliable partner, I'm out. So this woman thinks that the reason why she's single and not married at 29 is because she can't find a good father and also a reliable partner. At that age, 30 years, nearly 30 years living this life, if you have literally disqualified every man who you've come across with, it's time for you to look in the mirror. It's time for you to ask yourself, are my standards unrealistic? Am I delusional? Do I have a tea addiction?
I don't drink coffee.
Another comment here reads, I was with the guy for 8 years. He didn't flip until after the baby was born. He became someone else. Single mama now. I tried. With the shrug emoji. Interesting comment here. I would be curious to ask what changed exactly in his life, right? That's my natural question, because the way she framed this, there's really no details to how the guy changed. Women will use that all the time. Oh, he wasn't who I thought he was. He changed. He's a narcissist. Right. Next comment here reads, men, I wish I would have seen this earlier. I love my kids and hubby, baby daddy. I'm a stay-at-home mom. It just would have been nice to have kids when prepared. Hindsight is 2020 for sure. Another comment here reads, I had a 304 era. Okay. I guess straight to the facts. So this chick is like, hey, I had a 304 era a few years ago, and I swear out of 10 guys, only 1 or 2 even mentioned condoms. And I had to keep bugging one dude to get me plan B. Yeah, guys, this is right in line with what I was talking about. You see, that rite of passage women feel like they're entitled to, that 304 era, that 304 phase. What if you just got rid of that as a woman, right? What if instead of smashing 30, 40 guys, you just stayed under 10? Some of you are like, oh no, that's not too much. That's not too much in today's age, brother. You know these women out here in the streets. If women today just eliminated the amount of men who they're letting bust those cheeks, right? If they tapped out earlier, then they wouldn't be in such horrible positions later on when it comes to living a single mother lifestyle, because most women today are having way more sex than the average man. Our final comment here reads this: people literally say I'm crazy for being married and on my second baby at 21, but have, and I'm assuming she's talking about the ladies hating on her, have 2 baby daddies and going on 3. I don't get it. Yes, this is the generation we live in. We live in a generation where a woman like this, who is married early on, she capitalized on her youth and found a man who put a ring on it, right? Obviously is a regular coffee drinker. That's what I'm talking about.
Like my coffee like I like my women.
She's the outlier. She's abnormal for doing the responsible thing. That's the day and age we live in, fellas. Let me tell you guys something. There is a group of men out here who are hopeless. I hate to say this, but they are hopeless, right? They don't think of wrapping it up. They don't think of responsibility after ejaculate or before they ejaculate, right? There is no post-nut clarity with this group of men. They lack self-control. They don't embrace their masculinity. They're victims to the world. They don't think before they act. They embrace that beta male mentality fully. Most of these men didn't have any sort of masculine role model to look up to, even if you didn't have your father. I'm talking about any type of masculine role models they look up to in their life. There's no hope. And then you have another group of women who are pretty much the same thing, right? Don't understand what it's like to be a wife, a responsible woman, because they've never seen it in their life. The idea that those two groups of people, because I know a lot of people will say, well, why are you blaming the women? No, those men exist, and those women and these women that we're talking about right now exist. Brutal reality is they're kind of on a downward slope to their own destruction. I'm sorry, it's getting real dark right now, I know. But if you're listening to this and you're entertaining these conversations and type of ideas, then you have hope, right? I'm talking about people who, even when you bring the concept of responsibility, accountability, embracing your femininity as a woman, embracing your masculinity as a man, they don't want to hear it. They're lost. Your job as a man or a woman is to avoid those people. Those people have decided that they're not going to live a life of order, void of chaos. I think the solution to this problem, and this is what I'm getting at, resides in really the younger generation. The younger you are and you catch on to these concepts, the more chance there is to change things for the next generation. Now, that doesn't mean you can't be older and change and understand these concepts. I'm talking about a generational transformation. More likely if the younger generation change. Being older just means you're more set in your ways. So if you're older and you're still able to accept these concepts after having been through marriage already, and maybe you made some irresponsible decisions in your past, but you're still able to look at yourself and take accountability, that's a win. You are an outlier, right? The older people get, the harder it is to convince them, usually, to look at life from a different perspective. And this is why I say, when it comes to a change in society, it will be the youth who will look at women who are older, who are dying alone, unfortunately, and think, you know what, I don't want that for myself. Or the guys who decided to not be responsible with where they drop off their seed, and now they're neck deep in 3 kids, 4 or 5 kids, child support. Listen, man, as always, curious to know what you guys think. Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you guys for checking out another episode of The Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.